chambers. Work is obviously still being finalized, but our space looks much brighter and there is much more room. We all look forward to this being fully completed in time for our August the 9th meeting. I want to take a moment and thank all members of council for their cooperation and flexibility over the past 16 months as we've conducted our business virtually during council chamber renovations and the various levels of provincial restrictions. For those watching on the city streaming service or on our YouTube channel or on your TV, I would point out that our agenda and all reports are on the city website at www.belleville.ca under the agenda minutes and live meeting video on the left side of the screen. If you click on July 12th on the calendar, it will bring you to today's agenda. There is a hyperlink on the agenda in the event you wish to look at the reports and you can follow along. I will now call the meeting to order and say that all members of council are present with the exception of Councillor Feeney. And I will ask the Director of Corporate Services and City Clerk, Mr. Matt McDonald, to lead us in a moment of reflection.
May we be worthy custodians of all that has been entrusted to us. Help us to be concerned only for what will promote good government. May we bring to our council chamber minds that think and hearts that feel, always having respect for others so that we may serve the people of our city in a helpful manner and for the good of all.
Thank you. Before I ask everyone to sit down, I wonder if we can take a moment to recognize the passing of Lawrence Larry Tillender. Larry Tillender was a security guard working at Myers Pier about 2 weeks ago, where through the course of his duties, he was unfortunately killed in an accident, and I'd ask us all to have a moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. You may be seated. Item 3 on the agenda is disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Anyone have any items to declare? Seeing none, there are no public meetings today, so we'll move to reading and confirmation of the minutes of the regular council meeting of June 28, 2021, and the regular in-camera meeting minutes of June 28, 2021. Can I get a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Alsap, seconded by Councillor Sanderson. Any questions or comments? All in favor? It's carried. So we'll deal with deputations, and it's great to be back so we can have deputations. I'd like to ask Richard Hughes, President of the Hastings County Historical Society, to come forward and to make his deputation. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Your Worship. And this is indeed a historical moment. You know, the Historical Society is always marking every historical moment in our city, and here we have the honor of being the first delegation in your new facilities, and it's really quite a change, isn't it, eh? And all the councillors are smiling at this point in the meeting, and this is really very good. Anyways, thank you for receiving the delegation. We're very excited today. In fact, just to give you a brief background, we've long considered that the Hastings County Historical Society is one of the most active, one of the most dynamic in all of Ontario. Our events always draw far more people than the average across the province, so we're very proud of that. And for years, actually, you know, we have about 270 members, we have a long list of volunteers, and we have several hundred friends and participants in our events, so we're a rather large organization, and we're very proud of the work we do. Now, we operate on two basic fundamental goals. One is to develop, to bring out the history, the heritage, the stories of Belleville and Hastings County for that matter. But the second fundamental principle is that we try to get this information to the wider public, to the whole population, all of the people in our area. And I must say that's probably the most difficult of them all. So we're running along in high gear for a number of years, a long list of projects, very successful projects, and then COVID-19 hit us. And of course, as with everybody else, even this council, everything had to change. Our public events, and quite a few of them were canceled or suspended, I should say, and we had to shut down quite a few activities. However, we did not shut down the work of the Historical Society, not one bit. We use Zoom, email, YouTube, Facebook, all of these things to continue working. And we tried to develop programs that we could get to the people within the parameters of COVID-19. You know, we're all sitting at home, locked away, limited in what we can do. So we come up with a program that I want to bring to you today, and we think it's an absolute winner, in our humble opinion, and something that it will be of great benefit to all the people. So I would ask you, you know, if you went out on the street right now and the first person came along, you said, what do you want now? They would probably say, I want to get out. I want to get out of that blooming house. I want to get some fresh air into the summer weather. I want to get some exercise. And I want to do something interesting. And I firmly believe that this program that we've launched today responds dead on to each of those points. So today we're launching what we call the Stroll of Discovery on the Riverfront Trail of Belleville. And we prepared a guide, which you have a copy of there, which will take people walking, people on bicycles, people in wheelchairs for that matter, all the way from Myers Pier right up to Highway 401, all along the Belleville Riverfront. And as you can walk along, you'll find many historic buildings, historic sites, parks, bridges, etc. And most of us, I think you would have to admit, when we go by them, we pay no attention in the world. We've passed by them, we've gone over these bridges 100 times. It doesn't register anything in your mind. But now, with this guide, we can match the features that you would have in front of you along this trail with the photos in the guide, and most importantly, with the paragraph of history with each photo. So there are 40 sites starting at the bottom of Myers Pier, coming up along the river all the way to 401. There are 40 sites over 5 kilometers. Obviously, you can start at any point, you can end at any point, you can make it a short walk, a long walk. You know, some of you, like the more industrious people, like Councillor Thompson here, will want to do the whole thing. But what we would encourage people to do as they go through the downtown is to stop, maybe have a coffee and a pastry in one of the cafes, have lunch, look in some of the stores. In effect, use the downtown as you're passing through, gaining your knowledge. But just as an example of some of the points, people might be surprised to know that the downtown of Belleville was once the land of the Mississauga First Nations. And it took about 150 years to negotiate the total settlement of that. Even this building is almost 150 years old. And the plaque out front says there haven't been any improvements since then, but today we know that plaque will have to change. And also the lower bridge, which is now under repairs here, that was built 90 years ago during the Great Depression as a means of making jobs and getting the economy going. So that's one of the products of the Great Depression. So these are the kind of things that we believe people are going to, following this guide, by looking at the sites, by reading it, and they will, you know, we believe that they'll, you know, my goodness, I never knew that. That's what we want to get. So this self-guiding walking tour, it's available. It can be downloaded for those who prefer to work from their phone. An interactive smartphone app is available. People can do that. Or you have this wonderful 12-page full-color glossy booklet. And I might add, for people who can't get out, and there's many people in our city who can't get out and walk, maybe they're at home for many reasons, this book can make some very interesting and reading for them too. So we can put it into their hands even for people who can't get out and enjoy it. We printed the first 1,000 and we hope to print a few thousand more over time. The booklet's available at many outlets, the Chamber of Commerce, BDIA, the library, community archives, etc., and in a number of the stores. We're just now getting it distributed. So we're very excited. We really feel that this is a good way for people at this point in time to get out, get the fresh air, get some exercise, and learn about the things that they've been walking by all their life but really didn't know about. So thank you very much for allowing us to come before you today. And if there happen to be any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hughes. If there are questions or comments, we're just gonna have to play a little bit of change. So I'll ask council to go up to the podium and use the microphone and then pose your question, and then Mr. Hughes will come back up and answer them. So Councillor Thompson, I'll recognize you if you want to go and pose your question so that the streaming service can pick it up, please.
Okay, Bill, Richard, I want to thank you very much for coming. I've been out to a number of their presentations at the church, which is on once a month. They get great turnouts. And the work that you people do in this community, one question is also strong with this walkway, but you have a number of plaques through the county. I think it's very intriguing. Do you have a booklet of those plaques, where they're located and everything, or is it strictly on your website? But this is good. It gets us out and about, but my main focus was to thank the Historical Society for all the work that they've done in this community. They're very, very strong, very active, and about the plaques, Richard.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Thompson. I appreciate that question. Yes, it was just 3 or 4 years ago, we created and unveiled 6 plaques in downtown Belleville, along downtown Belleville. And we have been working on what we call a downtown walk to examine these plaques, a tour of the downtown area to examine. There are about 12 plaques in the downtown of historical interest. So we are working on that. That's one of our projects. We have another 7 that we unveiled across Hastings County, the whole county, but there are over 100 historical plaques, and we've been working on a number of programs. One is the road trips in Hastings County, which we developed last year, and it's been on Your TV. They produced it, and on our website and YouTube. And that visits there's about 25 5-minute videos. Now, we did it all out in the county because it was during COVID. We had to do it in places without a population. So we went off to Madoc, Marmor, Bancroft, all the places there, and did these films, so they are available. And we also have a very comprehensive website which lists all 100 plaques, tells the stories, the background photos, the whole works, and that's at hastingshistoricalplaques.ca. Your question is, will we be getting this into a publication? Good idea, great idea.
Great. Councillor Kelly, thank you. If I can get you, to go to that.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, congratulations, Mr. Hughes, President Hughes. Your organization means a lot for this area. And just a quick question. With the pandemic, and we're seeing light at the end of the tunnel, are there any plans, not that I want to put more work onto the Historical Society, but are there any plans in sharing how families dealt through the pandemic? They could send pictures, share, written stories, how businesses had to pivot or change. I'm working on a project with the company I work for, something similar. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process, but it's still fresh. And I think having those archives and telling the story of Hastings for those to look at it in 40 and 50 or 15 years will be educational, and it'll be a reminder of what we went through in 2020 and 2021. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Councillor Kelly, and I do want to admit the company he works for has been very helpful to us and very cooperative, and we have a long and a very good relationship with the company he works for. No, that's a very, very relevant question. One of the programs we launched this year is what we call the Memories Project, and we've publicized this. We're encouraging people to write a page and a half, 2 pages with their memories of their basically childhood, but we added also, particularly for students, to add their stories about what life was like during COVID for students. But what you've suggested, thank you. What you've suggested is I'll take it on board. That's a very good suggestion. I will say this, the Community Archives of Belleville and Hastings County, of which we're a partner, you're a partner, and the county is a partner, they are collecting everything that they can get their hands on relative to this last year. So they're collecting materials, they're collecting photos, stories, and all that. But I think it'd be worthwhile to launch a special program just for that, because this hasn't happened, since the Spanish flu of 1918. So, and nobody, I don't think anybody alive today almost has lived through anything like this. Oh yes. a lot of truth in that.
Yeah. Anyone else? Well, thank you very much, President Hughes. Before we let you go, you know, it's amazing for a lot of people who aren't aware that there are 40 different points of interest along this 5-kilometer route right along the river. And, you know, we do have a rich history of not just historical information, but also our arts and our culture and our heritage, and it all goes together. So thank you very much to all everyone involved with this stroll of discovery. We are working on a number of projects collaboratively with the Historical Society, including the recognition of the 100th anniversary of the discovery of insulin by Belleville native, Dr. James Collop, and that will be in October. More information will be released about the specifics, but you may want to sort of just touch upon that in terms of the dedication ceremony. And also, you know, I often see Councillor Thompson at your regular Tuesday evening Historical Society talks. Do you have a schedule yet or an idea of when you may resume in-person events so that we can get back to not just meeting each other, but also sharing in the history of our region?
Yes, thank you. I'll deal with the second question first. No.
Okay.
We'd love to launch in September, but there's so many unknowns now, we can't do that. But we will, you know, those monthly public presentations at Maranatha with guest speakers, we're very proud of that because an average turnout for Historical Society is from 25 to 40 people. We average 125. We're 3 times the average. We're extremely, but we will get back to that. We have people lined up, some excellent speakers, and as soon as our health authorities permit it, we'll be back there. You can count on that. Now, the other, just briefly, as you mentioned, this coming January actually is the 100th anniversary of the final discovery of insulin, which is one of the greatest medical discoveries, or one of the greatest of all times. And who made the final great breakthrough on it but a man, born, raised in Belleville, sold vegetables on the Belleville market right behind us, Dr. James Bertram Collop, an amazing story. And we are getting that out. And so on October 16, which you can all mark in your calendars, October 16, we have a major unveiling event. We have distinguished guest speakers coming from the University of Toronto, the ultimate expert on Dr. Collop and the national expert on medical history coming to speak to us. We'll have an unveiling at this monument that is being now created and will be installed along the Bayshore in a whole parkette, a good landscape, a beautiful setting. So there will be that. Of course, we'll have a number of guest speakers, a number of special guests from, this is a national event. This is a big one. And then after that, we are going over to the Parrot Galleries and having a major reception there. Again, a lot of special guests in town. And in our view, putting Belleville on the map once more time in a very positive way. So we look forward to that, October 16.
And we will share more details.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to you and to the executive and the membership. We appreciate our partnership, and we look forward to working with you more in the future.
Thank you all very much. Thanks for your attention.
Right, thank you. So the resolution is that the deputation by Richard Hughes, President, Hastings County Historical Society, announcing the new project of the Historical Society, Stroll of Discovery, Belleville Riverside Trail, be received. Moved by Councillor Alsop, seconded by Councillor Thompson. All in favor? It's carried. It's now my great pleasure to also welcome to the podium Donna Endicott, the board chair, and Marilyn Lowry, who's the executive director of the Humane Society Hastings Prince Edward. Good afternoon, Ms. Endicott.
Your worship, members of council, it's a delight, Richard, to follow you, because when we launch our Get a Hound, Lose a Pound program, we can add the Riverwalk onto that itinerary. It's been more than 2 years since we last had the privilege of being here in person. And it's with some excitement, I tell you, that much has changed at the Humane Society, Hastings and Prince Edward. We have a new executive director. We have a new name. We have a new look. We have a new fundraising campaign. And we have a revised plan to build the vitally important Animal Care and Adoption Center. And our very capable and energetic Marilyn Lowry is going to, in a minute, tell you all about these new developments. But my purpose here today is to bring the profound appreciation of the Hastings and Prince Edward Humane Society to this mayor and to this council. On Friday, we held a groundbreaking ceremony, and on the site, actually, of the new Animal Care and Adoption Center. And we were delighted to have Mayor Mitch Panchuk and Councillor Bill Sanderson join us, along with other guests, for this very momentous occasion. In his remarks, Mayor Panchuk highlighted the significant contribution of this City Council to making this project possible. With a combined pledge of $400,000 in cash, an estimated $61,000 in-kind development charges, $42,000 in estimated in-kind permits, and $160,000 in-kind servicing, sanitation, and septic assistance. This council has contributed to this project to date. To this has been added a $1 million interest-free loan guarantee, matched by the same amount and guarantee from the City of Quinte West with the help of the mayor. Folks, it simply changed the light from red to green for us, and along with the commitments of City of Quinte West, it's also set the bar now for our discussions with the provincial and federal governments. City councils make many key decisions about building projects, but none have been made with as much compassion and understanding as this City Council's support of this so badly needed new Animal Care and Adoption Center. So within the year, you will be able to drive by 34 Wallbridge Loyalist Road, and you will be able to look with pride on the community's new Animal Care and Adoption Center. And I want you to know, each of you will have played an important part in making this happen. And for that, you have our heartfelt gratitude. So here's Marilyn, and she's going to give you the good news.
Thank you, Donna. Mayor Panchuk, city councilors, city staff, and to all of you viewing this council meeting. It's a true pleasure to not only be back before council again, it's been a few years, at least in person and not via Zoom. One short year ago, a groundbreaking ceremony just did not seem within the realm of possibility, but we did indeed break ground 3 days ago. I want to talk about branding. Now I'm told that, we're all going to follow along in the songbook here because we don't have the projection capabilities yet, but I know you will. So if you go to the slide with the red, I think it's the third image in. So many things have happened past fall, and I think you will note that we have a new name and a new look. So the Humane Society, Hastings, and Prince Edward. Hastings, sorry, Prince Edward, no little words in there. I'm still getting used to it. And our tagline, our subline is, we're connected by compassion. It was a fascinating process developing the new brand. Working with Sean Patrickin and his talented team, they integrated a series of discovery interviews with staff, board, and community stakeholders were held to answer 3 key questions. Who are we? What do we say we are? And what do others say we are? So these interviews took place over about a two-week period, and the research was with the goal of creating a main brand mark, or logo, as we call it, and a key tagline that describes our organization. Humane Society, Hastings, Prince Edward defines the counties that we serve, and the we in We're Connected by Compassion refers internally to the Humane Society, but also externally to the members of the public who connect with us for the care of the animals in our region. While our legal name remains Quinte Humane Society, we have registered Humane Society Hastings Prince Edward as our trade name. So the next slide will show a number of colors, a nice teal or turquoise, a very dark blue, and the red, which really pops on the sign down at the new building. So we have versatility with these brand colors, as well as our secondary brand, which is the round crest, Humane Society, Hastings, Prince Edward, and our tagline crest, as to how we can adapt the heart, which we did keep from our former logo, to use on its own, or we can affiliate it with the animal of our choice. I think my new hoodie is going to have a little cat one on it. The next image, you'll see a t-shirt and a golf shirt. We have many opportunities to use our main and secondary brands for a variety of applications, including scrubs for staff and merchandise for the general public. And you can see some potentials there. These are not exactly what we're going to be doing, or it just might be. We're not quite there yet. We're very excited about this new look, and it will take us into the future of animal care in this region. Now, your next image, in terms of building update, I am so excited to show you some of Task Force's exterior renderings of our new center, as well as a preview of some interior concepts that we just received late last week, that have not been unveiled to the public. So phase one, you'll see the shot from the laneway, not too far off where we were at the groundbreaking ceremony. It's the front of phase one. It's a 12,000 square foot facility. It will face south with parking access off the main driveway at the east end of the building. And you'll also see a public entrance on the left. If you look at the two pillars, that will be where the members of the public will enter. There's also cat adoption rooms and an enclosed outdoor cat enrichment area flanking the entrance. The middle set of windows let light into the cat isolation rooms as they're being prepared to be able to adopt. And the staff and animal drop-off entrance is to the right along the building near the garage door. The garage, speaking of the garage, houses our mobile clinic, which we will be able to take throughout the entirety of Hastings and Prince Edward counties to perform spay and neuters, vaccinations, and microchipping to low-income families, as well as to the animals in our care. The rear of the building, I am so excited about this, and usually the back end of buildings don't get people all revved up, but this image shows, with the large garage doors, picture them opening up, which will then get you into kind of a private indoor and access to the private indoor-outdoor kennels to allow the dogs to burn off some steam in the yard. We're hoping to do 3 separate sections. That remains to be seen, but at least the dogs can now access the outdoors directly from their kennels, which is not the case in our current facility. The next 5 images. Okay, here we go, the interior lobby. You'll see the red. We are going to pick up some of the colors of our brand. Task Force has chosen the red. It certainly jumps out and pops. This new lobby is a far cry from our existing one. It's open, spacious, and welcoming. The 3-sided main reception desk is on the left, and the public entrance is just to the right of the gentleman and the dog. The fireplace. This was our shelter manager, Maria Degerloon-Smith's idea, and she kind of threw it out at a meeting, and we kind of went, oh, come on. And then the more we talked about it, this double-sided electric unit will welcome people into the lobby, and it will also provide coziness in the meet and greet room, which is just on the other side. So we're designing it with kind of a home feeling in mind for the greeting space to be integral to the potential adopters to meet a furry family member, as if they're in their own home in front of a lovely fire. So we're pretty excited about that. Down the long hallway and beyond the door at the end of the corridor is one of 2 interior entrances to what we call the back of house, where the public will not go. This is accessible only to staff. The building has been designed under what we call a capacity for care model, moving animals from intake to assessment to isolation as they are assessed and preparing them for adoption or fostering, and then out to the public viewing areas to allow them to find their forever home. So doing a snapshot of our current facility, the dog kennel, you will see the poor little pooch there in, well, just the dog kennel room that is beat up, best before date was at least 20 years ago. And the next image will show the dog, a dog quad kennel, as I'm calling it. There are 4 kennels per room, so we can isolate between rooms, and storage space, running water, a small fridge, and more spacious kennels for the dogs. And the cats, well, right now they're just stacked up to the rafters. That's our isolation room on the main floor behind the main desk. And the next image, you can see the new cat kennels, again with individual storage, still stacked up, but only 2 high and much more spacious. So we're so excited to be able to provide this for the animals in our care. These areas, in fact, throughout the building, finishes have been chosen to maximize disinfecting and sanitizing of all surfaces to control disease and infection, which is so important in close quarters. In tandem, the HVAC system has been installed to hospital-grade standards to provide proper separation and control of temperature, pressure, and humidity while maintaining reasonable energy efficiencies. Moving on to the capital fundraising campaign. Bit of a campaign update. If you flip to the "It Takes Heart," that is our tagline for the capital campaign. Currently, we have raised $3.1 million towards our goal of $5 million for phase 1. We're 62% of the way there, and our campaign is now being launched into the private sector of area corporations, small businesses, foundations, associations, families, and individuals under the oversight of our capital campaign committee chair, Greg Suds of West City Honda, Jean-Charles Damour, or JC as we call him, capital campaign manager, and the campaign committee composed of dedicated community supporters. We have received some new gifts lately by way of an update, ranging everything from $50 to $400,000. And JC is currently finalizing some other major gifts that we will announce shortly. Key to our mission and vision is phase 2, the Community and Education Center. It will be built at the west end of phase 1. We have made requests to both the provincial and federal governments for a total of $1.3 million to fund this next phase, or $650,000 from each government. The $650,000 represents the total cash contributions from the cities of Belleville and Quinte West. So we figured that was a good number for them to step up. We are confident that the heart of this region will step up and support this project. The ittakesheart.ca website launched just 2 weeks ago, where donations to the capital campaign can be accepted. And the new page also clicks through to our existing website, but we do expect to have a current full website with our new brand, new color scheme up and running in 6 to 8 weeks. These are exciting times for the Humane Society Hastings Prince Edward. And in closing, let me just say, this council has heart, and this council has compassion. Compassion for the animals entrusted to our care and for what we do. And together, we will see a new animal care and adoption center in Belleville serving the entirety of Hastings and Prince Edward counties 1 year down the road. This ends our deputation. Thank you very much. And if there's any questions or comments, Donna and I would be pleased to address them. And we also have just the shortest presentation to do that we might need Mayor Panchuk to come forward to, but we'll save that till after the Q&A.
Thank you very much, Ms. Lowry and Ms. Endicott. It's breathtaking what we've all been able to accomplish with this. Looking at these renderings, you know, I've been going into your current facility for the better part of 20 years. And to see what is going to be a better facility is just phenomenal. It is transformative for your organization, and congratulations for getting it done and for having the faith to you and all of your volunteers. Colleagues, does anybody have any questions or comments they'd like to make? Councillor Thompson, if I just go to the microphone again, please.
I want to thank the Humane Society for what they're doing for the future of our city. It's long overdue, and I commend you for what we will have in our area for a Humane Society that would be proud of. But my question is, in the future, I don't think you're doing now, do you take in and board cats and dogs while people are on vacation, or do you plan on that in the future?
Thank you, Councillor Thompson. Currently, we do not board pets when people go away on vacation or if they are ill, although we do have a COVID plan in place. And there was evidence of that a couple of months ago. A gentleman and his wife were both in hospital. We took in their dog, we went and picked it up and returned it to them, and that dog stayed with us free of charge. Right now, we don't have the space to be able to do that, but that's a very good option for the future and possibly for the new animal center.
Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I know you have a presentation, but I just, I do want to say it was 2 years ago on Friday this last week that we made the decision to provide $50,000 a year over 8 years for a total of $400,000 as our contribution towards your capital campaign. And a lot has, we've covered a lot of distance in those 2 years. Obviously, your plans have been sort of refocused, and you're now going in a phased manner. And it got to a critical point. While certainly no one would doubt that the facility was in crisis years ago, it became that much more worse in December. And I recall the video call, the emergency video call that you, along with JC, had with me, where we had no ability to delay this project any longer. And so, thanks to the support of council, and I had a good discussion with my friend, Mayor Harrison, and thanks to the support of Quinte West Council, we've got you this final $2 million piece of stable funding that you can now proceed with that project. And it was a proud day on Friday. But it was also a day that's a little melancholy, because certainly our council deserves the credit for stepping up and helping. But we're also missing somebody who was a big part in that. And I told the story about getting a very significant tongue lashing from former councillor Pat Culhane. As was her way, she was extremely to the point, and she felt that $400,000 was not near enough and that we had to do more. And I promised her that we need to get to the stage where we can move this project along, make that commitment, and that we will find other ways to assist. And so the waiving of development charges, helping with the sanitary and the servicing are all important parts, as well as that $1 million tax-free or interest-free loan. So, I think on behalf of all of us, we are proud that that your organization provides pound services for us, works with us, and we are proud that we are going to have a new facility in our community. And we are so looking forward to next July, when instead of doing a groundbreaking, we'll do a ribbon cutting, which is going to be excellent news. So thank you, and it's great to work with you.
Come on down, Mayor Panchuk.
Oh, okay, that's even better. Okay. So not everybody gets a shovel, right, to remember the occasion. And Mitch, we know that you do a lot of groundbreaking ceremonies, but I have to tell you, none will have as far-reaching and long-lasting impact as that shovel in that ground on Friday. And so we want you to stand this in the corner of your office so that every time you look at it, you remember that animal care and adoption center and all those animals that come in there are all looking at you, wagging their tails collectively. And there's a little plaque on this shovel. Shall I read it? Sure, you read it, because I shall read it. I need my glasses on.
Okay. And this is the shovel that Mayor Panchuk used at the groundbreaking. And I said to JC, how do you know? And he said, well, it was where he was standing in the little pile of dirt. So this is the truth. And it says, Humane Society, Hastings, Prince Edward, presented to Mayor Mitch Panchuk, the City of Belleville, for devoted support to the realization of the Animal Care and Adoption Center. Groundbreaking ceremony, July 9, 2021. It takes heart. Thank you. Okay.
You've done this before.
Many times.
So, you know, I used to spend summer with my grandparents, and I used to shovel like this again.
There you go.
They were dairy farmers.
Well, it's still got the scratches on it from Friday.
Thank you very much.
We're planning on staying to hear the results of the grant committee. Is that okay? Thank you. Thank you.
I think I'll refrain from making the comments with the shovel in this chamber. So thank you very much, ladies. And the resolution is that the deputation by Donna Endicott, Board Chair, and Marilyn Lowry, Executive Director of the Humane Society, Hastings, Prince Edward, providing an update on their animal care and adoption center project and associated fundraising campaign and their recent rebranding be received. Moved by Councillor Alsap, seconded by Councillor McCaw. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you very much. There's no correspondence today, so we'll move to Committee of the Whole. And I'm looking for a motion to go into Committee of the Whole to hear and consider reports, passing recommendations and resolutions with myself in the chair. Moved by Councillor Alsap, seconded by Councillor Millette. All in favor? Carried. There are no reports under 8A, so we'll move to the consent items, where council may adopt consent items by one motion, but prior to consideration of such motion, members may request that specific items be removed from consideration under such motion, and council shall consider such items individually. So I will go around the table. Councillor Kelly? No, thank you. Councillor Millette? No, thank you. Councillor Thompson? No, thank you. Councillor McCaw? No, thank you. Councillor Sanderson? 8B4. Councillor Alsop? No, thank you. Councillor Carr? 8B8, please. 8B8. All right, so the resolution is that the following agenda items be approved with the exception of items 8B4 and 8B8. Can I get a motion for that, please? Moved by Councillor Kelly, seconded by Councillor Alsop. All in favor? It's carried. So we'll move to 8B4, recommendation report for proposed amendment to zoning bylaw 3014 as amended for 543 Thrasher Road, City of Belleville. It is file number B77-1129. The owner applicant is Martin Vanderland, and the agent is Three Hills Engineering. It is the policy planners report number PP 2021-42. The resolution is that the Planning Advisory Committee recommends the following to City Council. That application B77-1129 to amend the City of Belleville zoning bylaw number 3014 as amended for 543 Thrasher Road, City of Belleville be approved as follows. That zoning bylaw number 3014 is amended by revising the rural RU2 zone special provisions to facilitate the development of a special transition home, and that a bylaw amending zoning bylaw number 3014 being a bylaw to regulate the use of land and the height, bulk, location, size, floor area, spacing, character, and use of buildings be prepared for council's consideration. So that's moved by Councillor Sanderson, seconded by Councillor Carr. Councillor Sanderson, you raised that issue, so if I can just invite you to go to the podium and
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. So I just wanted to say a few words on this particular shelter. So this type of project enhances the social fabric of our community, a caring community, and a facility that is geared towards helping women transition from life-controlling problems to sobriety, self-respect, and self-control is a welcome addition to our city. At the invitation of Mr. Vanderland last year, Councillor Carr and I walked about the property a few days before Christmas, and Martin and his wife shared their plans on goals for that property. So there's been a great deal of work that's been accomplished by Mr. Vanderland. It's an ambitious project, and it's come a long way since that initial visit. So I'm pleased to see the progress of the transition home for women and I fully support the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sanderson. Anyone else on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried. So we'll move now to 8B8 is the City of Belleville Grant Committee. The Manager of Finance Deputy Treasurer's Report Number DDF 2021-04. And the resolution is that Council approve the recommendations of the Grant Committee as outlined in the Manager of Finance Deputy Treasurer's Report Number DDF 2021-04, City of Belleville Grant Committee. Moved by Councillor Carr, seconded by Councillor Kelly. Councillor Carr, you had raised this item.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to bring the council's attention, hopefully get support. Gift from the Heart, and I know the mayor met with Bev Woods, and there was questions earlier when this application first came to the grant committee regarding the service provided. And Ms. Woods is committed to the allocation of money to serve 250 residents in the Belleville area to provide free oral care screening and oral health assistance to residents that may not be able to afford it due to financial barriers. And she's put out that she's on July 14th and 19th, she will be at the Gleaners Food Bank. And so she's coordinating with other agencies to ensure that she provides a service to folks in need. And certainly this is a great opportunity to fund an organization, it's nonprofit, and to provide to people who require that assistance. So I hope for everyone's support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in this? Councillor Kelly.
Through you, Mayor. Thanks to Councillor Carr for raising this tonight. Gift from the Heart. I spoke to Bev Woods last week, and I've known Bev for a long time, and her work with Gift from the Heart started years ago. And oral health is key. 1 in 3 Canadians lack dental insurance. We know as councillors, one of the first things we did 2.5 years ago, and for those that have joined the team in 2021, you signed up and you got your benefit plans with the city. So that gives us an opportunity to get our teeth cleaned or a root canal, and it's covered by an insurance plan. And for many, 1 in 3, they don't have that opportunity. Many just can't afford dental care. And with the community cruiser, I know a couple of weeks ago, the mayor was here with Bev, and Bev's goal is to have that at the Gleaners Food Bank 4 days a month in Belleville. And I've had the experience of seeing dental offices do an outreach day where they give free dental service. And the reality is, a couple of years ago, I was involved with one Saturday morning at 7 o'clock. And I asked the individual, what time did you get here? The first person in line, 7 o'clock Friday night. Because he couldn't go to work, pain, didn't have a dental plan. So when we have our dental community, dentists, hygienists, and this is primarily driven by hygienists, and I know Bev is hoping to get more doctors on board. This is a really good program, and I'm going to see if there's funding from Hastings County. There's been some great sponsors already. This is a much needed program to expand, and we wish Bev Woods all the best. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Councillor Millette.
I don't know when to take it off or put it on. Thank you very much, Your Worship. I'm going to support this grant as well. Many people don't understand the true value of dental health as well to our overall health and well-being. An awful lot of medical professionals will tell you that if you have bad chronic dental issues, you're going to have heart issues, you're going to have worse health issues, which in turn is only going to exacerbate our health plans, our health situation at the hospital, our ability to look after people who, again, as Councillor Kelly said, don't have a dental plan. And I'll tell you, when you don't have a dental plan, you're self-employed. Some people, several people in this chamber, I know, were self-employed before signing on, as we did to serve the city and take advantage of the dental plan that we get. I know from just my wife's family, business owners who had their own business. Sure, they were putting food on the table, but at the expense of their dental health. And we take it for granted when we have a good dental health coverage. But I'm going to support this. It's incredibly important. And short of the day when we have universal dental health coverage, this kind of an important feature just fills the gap, and it's very much needed. So thank you. I will support this.
Thank you. Anyone else? Councillor Alsop.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to speak to this as well because I think this is a very needed thing for our community. I want to commend Bev Woods for spearheading this and for all the great work that she does. And as one of the 1 in 3 people who did not have dental coverage until I got this job, I can tell you it makes a huge difference. I still haven't gone out of habit, but I will shortly. And the difference it made for my family, for my wife to be able to go, for my kids to be able to go, is now something that we're considering bringing to our business to provide that coverage for more of our friends and colleagues at work. But certainly it is a very important thing and something that a lot of people in our community lack. And I think it's a great thing to be doing. And certainly our support of $5,000 is going to go a long way towards that. And I'm very encouraged by Councillor Kelly's words that he might even be able to find some more funding for it, because certainly this is something that a lot of people are going to need. So I'm very much in support of it, and I look forward to seeing it in action.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? All right, thank you. So the resolution is on the floor. I'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. We'll now move to 8C, Council Information Matters, where Council may adopt consent items by one motion. But prior to consideration of such motion, members may request that specific items be removed from consideration under such motion, and Council shall consider such items individually. I'll go the other way, starting with Councillor Carr. Councillor Alsop? No, thank you. Councillor Sanderson? No, thank you. Councillor McCaw? Councillor Thompson? No, thank you. Councillor Millette? No, thank you. And Councillor Kelly? No, thank you. So then the resolution is that the following agenda items be received. Moved by Councillor Carr, seconded by Councillor Alsop. All in favor? It's carried. Motion to rise and report. Councillor Alsop and Councillor Sanderson. All in favor? It's carried. We have some bylaws, and if it's okay with Council, I will read the numbers. So first reading of bylaws 2021-127, 128, 129, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, and 135. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Sanderson and Councillor Thompson. All in favor? It's carried. So second reading of bylaws 2021-127, 128, 129, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, and 135. Moved by Councillor Kelly and seconded by Councillor Alsop. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? It's carried. And third and final reading of bylaws number 2021-127, 128, 129, 130, 131, 132, 133, 134, and 135. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Councillor Carr, seconded by Councillor Sanderson. All in favor? It's carried. We'll now move to new business. I'd like to take a moment to thank our residents and business owners for adhering to the regulations that that continue to be in place during the Government of Ontario's current reopening plan. As of June the 30th, we officially moved into step 2 of the province's reopening plan, and we look forward to moving into step 3 this coming Friday on July the 16th. So just to review our services, City Hall continues to be open by appointment only during step 2. Those who require in-person service to obtain marriage licenses or building permits are asked to call to book an appointment. An announcement will be made by the end of the week regarding step 3 and access to City Hall later this week. The Belleville Public Library was excited to officially reopen to the public on Monday, July the 5th, and welcomes visitors back with appropriate safety precautions in place, and this will continue through step 3. The Quinte Sports and Wellness Center team is very excited to start opening their doors during phase 3. Indoor programming and indoor facilities will be part of the Quinte Sports and Wellness Center's staggered reopening plan in step 3. Ice pads, the Glanmore National Historic Site, and additional outdoor event spaces will begin reopening as early as this Friday, We encourage the public to check the appropriate websites for all the details. And those appropriate websites are belleville.ca, but also the Queenie Sports and Wellness Center, Glanmore National Historic Site, the Belleville Public Library. They all have their individual websites as well that people can see about specific information. The existing outdoor and Zoom recreation programming will continue as planned, including fitness in the park for adults and summer activities in the park for kids. The Kinsman Pool also continues to welcome guests. Keep in mind that pre-registration is required, although it should be getting easier because capacity limits have expanded. And public cooling centers are operating at the Queenie Sports and Wellness Center and the Belleville Public Library this summer for those needing relief from the heat. The cooling centers will be open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. when the weather thresholds are met. City Transit continues to operate with COVID-19 protocols in place. Route and schedule information is available on the city website. And the provincial vaccine booking system remains open, and the vaccination center located at the Queenie Sports and Wellness Center continues to operate successfully under the management of public health and our Queenie Sports and Wellness team, as it has been doing since May the 31st. The Hastings Prince Edward Public Health Unit has worked alongside city employees to create a safe and accessible space for residents to receive COVID-19 vaccinations. It is wonderful to see people posting photos of getting their vaccination at the Queenie Sports and Wellness Center, including some of the members around this table. Congratulations to everyone that is involved, and keep up the great work. As a council, we remain collectively and singularly focused on your safety and health in all of our decisions. We thank you for your cooperation and support of our efforts, and we encourage everyone to get vaccinated as soon as you are able to. Colleagues, anyone else have anything for new business today? All right, seeing none, we have no motions today. Does anyone have any notice of motions they'd like to present? Seeing none, we'll move to announcements. Anyone have any announcements? Councillor Thompson, if I can ask you to go to the podium, please.
Just one announcement. I'd like to congratulate and thank Bridge Street United Church and John Howard Society and anybody else that had some money that go into this new program at Bridge Street United Church, where people, the homeless, can go from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They have the avenue of shower, then there's the lunch menu. And without that, you know, and we may notice a few people sitting out in front of Bridge Street United Church, but it's a great program. We have the place where they can go at night and place for shelter, but up till now, we had no place for them to go during the day. So this is a great benefit to our community because really, where would these people go to have a shower, especially when the Grace Inn is full at night? They can't get in there where there is showers. So these people are now able to go someplace where it's comfortable, stay inside when it's raining. So I think we need a congratulations to Bridge Street and John Howard. And I'm not sure there's other involved. The mayor may know if there's others involved in that financing, but great benefit to community. And I want to thank them.
Thank you. Well, first of all, the city of Belleville contributed to that through our social infrastructure fund this year. So that's wonderful news. But there'll be some more information coming with our partnership with Hastings County, including not just shelter services this fall, but also the operation of the overnight warming center for the 21-22 season and everything else. Stay tuned. But certainly we appreciate Bridge Street for all that they do, and the Salvation Army and Pathways and the folks at Grace Inn. I had the occasion yesterday to go to a young lady, I believe she's about 8 years of age, and she had a lemonade stand on Lambert Drive, and the funds, the proceeds, all of it was donated to Grace Inn. And so when I was there, it was great to see Rob Crisp there, the executive director of Grace Inn, and to see these community efforts to try to help those who are less fortunate in our community. Anyone else for announcements today? All right, well, I don't have any proclamations today, which is unusual, but I do have a few announcements, starting with just taking a moment to recognize the retirement of a long-standing city employee and Belleville firefighter. Carson Cross started with the city on July 22nd, 1991 as a training officer, and he served in that role for a number of years before becoming a fire prevention officer and then a firefighter first class. and most recently and currently as a captain. Carson will be retiring on July 31st. After a successful 30-year career, he will actually be retiring on the morning of August the 1st because he works that night. But congratulations to Captain Cross, and we wish him all the best in his retirement. And the reason why this one is perhaps a little bit more special to me is that the great relationship that the Belleville Agricultural Society had with Carson Cross and the training center at the current fairgrounds property. Carson was extremely generous with his time and with his assistance. He truly loves the city of Belleville. You could see that in some of the work that he did, not just professionally, but also in a voluntary way. And we congratulate him on a 30-year career protecting the citizens of Belleville. On July the 1st, I was proud to be part of the Hearts for Heroes Appreciation presentations and procession. Thank you to the Belleville Chamber of Commerce for organizing a successful event again this year. And I have some exciting news to announce today. Based on the hard work and the excellent capacity for the Belleville Chamber of Commerce to run events, World's Finest Midway has chosen Belleville as one of 6 locations in Southern Ontario to have a pop-up Midway event on August the 20th through to August 29th. The Belleville's Finest, World's Finest Midway reached out to the Chamber of Commerce, and they are going to be working with city staff to be able to plan this event for children and young adults and those young at heart for August. This will be, as I said, one of only 6 midways in Southern Ontario, and we are going to have it here in our community. So at the August 9th meeting, there will be a report coming to council with respect to the ways in which we can assist the chamber to put that event on. But that is great news for our community and great news for people who are looking forward to the return to some outdoor normal activities. Along with city staff, the contractor, and Councillors Sanderson and Thompson, I was pleased to attend a groundbreaking for the reconstruction project along Orchard Drive and Pringle Drive last week. This project includes a water main upgrade, sewer improvements, and road reconstruction from North Park Gardens south to the Prince of Wales Drive. Also, last Friday, I attended another groundbreaking ceremony, as we talked about earlier, this time for our brand new Humane Society of Hastings Prince Edward facility. It was great to get an update from the Humane Society during our deputations today. And again, a very big congratulations to the entire Humane Society team for this big step. The Humane Society is an important part of our community. There are a lot of exciting things we can look forward to in 2022, and we look forward to attending the official grand opening of the facility next summer. And with that, I will ask for a confirmatory bylaw, that bylaw number 2021-136, a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meeting held on July the 5th, 2021, be read a first, second, and third time, and finally passed this 5th day of July, 2021. Can I get a mover? Moved by Councillor Alsop, seconded by Councillor Millette. All in favor? It's carried. Motion to adjourn, Councillor McCaw and Councillor Kelly. All in favor? It's carried.